The truth remains that God exists. Even the atheists also believe, because that thing is saying that it does not exist is a confirmation that you know that there is something like that. Mana onye buzi onye Igbo na-ache ga back to root. Sigina nwere ihe dịka Chukwu. It has always been there. War between darkness and light is as old as man. No other institution in the world has mounted opposition against evil in the world as Christianity. No institution of this world had done 30% of what Christianity had done against evil. So you don't come and twist the Christian message for you to win followers online. What they tell us as our root is actually not what our root is all about. Some occultic men hijacked the tradition and introduced things that were anti-natural in the tradition. And that is what some of these boys are celebrating without knowing. Our root bụ na root anyị na-asarụ. Mana ị ga-afụ mmadụ na-ekpuchara onye na-ekwu na ndị ọcha ma slave trade nwere brothel where he's exploiting young girls. The one that the white people did and the one that is doing, which one is more destructive? And in the 21st century, ị na-ekwu okwu ọdịnala mana ị na-ekwu okwu nsọ ana. Environment anyị abụrụ environment arụ. Ọ bụrụ environment impunity. And this is the root that we should do everything within our power to protect. Ihe budebe omenala be pụta ha na kparịa Christianity. It does not call for disrespect. Onye ọcha ị na-akpọrị na o mere nke a developer ABCD gba anyị na-agụ. Ndị anyị na-akparị na ha mere nke a mee nke ọzọ. Whether what is going on will collapse or not, it is certain. Falsehood never lasts. There is no document, no template. Everybody is just making noise. Everybody can come up and tell us anything. The script they have written for these people that are pushing this ideology is to trivialize some of the atrocities that our people committed in the past. These things fall apart by Chinua Achebe. We say, our Igbo Bible. And as long as I live, I'll be sharing this book till I die. Let our people, let the young people that are running helter-skelter looking for solutions know what our history is all about, so that when you are saying that you're going back to Omenana and all that, you actually know what you're doing.
What do you think that our Omenani was not documented? It was more of oral. Can do the consequences?
Before this,
okay.
Worry him bidoro ikwu na the other part. Let me balance it. You know, I mentioned na Ghana Bible. There are so many things that are there that are not even supposed to be there. Bible, nwechara age. The world existed, or rather transited from one age to the other. From Stone Age, Bronze Age, Age of Reason, Age of Darkness. Here niile mechakwara Bible authors influence. It influenced them. They belong to a society. Ha nwere intellect. Ha nwere their personal conviction. Let me give you example. Jephthah gburu nwa ya nwaanyị after ka o je dọtara ndị Israel agha merie. Jephthah ji aka ya kwe Chukwu nkwa. At that time, Chukwu na ndị Israel, so to say, ndị Israel mejọrọ Chukwu. So God is not even speaking to Israel at that time. He promised God na ọ bụ na ya ji agha bata na ihe ọbụla bụ ụzọ pụ na ya ga-enye ya. Chineke atụpụrụ gị ọnụ ka i kwuru ihe a. You just sit on your own. And he went, the first daughter abata. O gburu ya gbuo. Ụdị ihe mechakwara na be anyị na ana Igbo. Ụmụazị ndị a na-etwist izi Bible tata ọbịa ọkọtụọ ya out. Ọmarọdị the background of that story. Ọmarọdị onye bụ Jephthah. Jephthah, son of a prostitute. Ndị be ụmụnne ya, his step brother si chọpụrụ. Mma ya kwu amara m na ọ bụ ihe akụchara ofu nkụchara ka akụchara ọ wee dị ime ya or something. Bible agwara anyị na obi with the man just na Jephthah pụtara. Jephthah baa n'ime ọhịa jee biri n'ime ọhịa. Then ọ chọrọ ka o weta political power of Israel. Because of that quest and that ambition, ọ chọọ ka ọ manipulate God. Na ọ ga-eme very costly sacrifice that he should just give him victory. Isi nwa ya nwaanyị aba. Ị na-akpọ Chukwu the same God o gwara gị that you shall not kill. But as they say gị gbuo nwa ya bịa nye ya. The template you mentioned is actually there for anybody that is interested to go there and find out what God is actually saying. Jesus Christ abịakwuzia fulfill ya the whole thing. No nwere ana ebe they confused. Go back to the life of Jesus. O mere ihe agha ị na-ekwu maka ya. No matter ma edere na Bible in the Old Testament or even in the New Testament, Jesus is the standard. He's the lens. He's the template that you always run to validate what you are looking for. Ọ bụrụ na o meghị ya ma the book of Psalm 109 na-agwara gị ka ndị iro niile nwụsịsịa ka ụmụ ha let them not be remembered fearful words. Kedu ihe Jesu mere ka ọ bịa? Jesu prayed for his enemies. Ndị na-egburu ya egbu, ndị ji mma narịa ndụ ya n'ike, ndị be anyị eniri arụsị ebe onye na-anwụ na-abụ obodo ọnụ. Jesu asị na gbaghara ha na ha amaghọ ihe at point of death. So onye bịazie as a Christian ma ọ bụ fada ma o nwere ministry ma ọ ụmụ ministry ọkwụrụ ebe a na-asị gị your enemies must be annihilated in the name of Jesus. Bible sị gị kedu ihe dị iche na gị nọ ndị ọgọ mmụọ na ndị ọgọ mmụọ na-ekpere ndị enyi ha ekpere ka ọ dịrị ha mma na-ekpere ndị iro ha ekpere na ngị nwa ga-enwe ihe dị iche. Ihe Christians na-eri book bụ evil not men. The war is not against flesh and blood, is against principalities and powers. A man created by God that he shed his blood to save cannot be killed by that same God. I said something earlier, Galatians 1:8. Onye ọbụla preaching a different gospel, ma ọ bụ bishop, ma ọ bụ onye ọsọrọ ya bụrụ, mana ọ na-preach a different gospel that is different from what has been written here is cursed. Then coming to Igbo traditional religion, part of our problem bụ lack of documentation. Tradition anyị adịghị documented because na ndị be anyị enweghị ability to write and read in the modern one. Ndị ọcha bụ anyị ụzọ mụta ha develop ABCD Igbo anyị na-agụ, ndị anyị na-akparị na ha mere nke a mee nke ọzọ. We lacked that at the beginning. Ọ dịrọ ka ebe nwere masterpiece that you can always run to because na story a na ha ndị from one generation ọ na-lose quality. Nkọrọ gị akụkọ kịta iji ịkọ ihe a nkọrọ gị ị na-akọ na ọ ga-abụ a mixture of your emotions and your conviction, even though you're trying to present what I am saying. Just think about that same story Egwaramo 10 years ago. Somebody telling that story after 100 years. Some of the vital ingredients of that story must have been lost. And talking about ndị a na-quote Bible, not the kama na-ekwukwuzi maka ya at the same time. Quote Bible be a science that you go to university. That's Bible interpretation. It's a science that you go to university and learn. It's not something you just wake up and start saying things that you like. Let me give you an example. Na ba ya ịba ọhịa asị na mmadụ bara ọhịa kịta o nwere some dialect ọ bụ eje mposi nwee some dialect ọ bụ adultery. Ije n'akwụkwọ ebe edere maka ịba ọhịa onye jere mposi je interpretie ya as adultery maka na ihe your own dialect na-akpọ ịba ọhịa bụ ije adultery, mana onye kwuru ya adịghị ekwu maka adultery, ihe ọ na-ekwu bụ maka mposi. Ije kọtụọ ya out from that place. That is what they do in some of these things they do. They call Bible interpretation. For you to read and understand, but you be a Christian now. It's not a literature that you just come and read your own meaning into it. Impose your thoughts and your convictions. I was listening to one of your guests. Okay. In fact, it was even your interview with that young man that after listening, I said, no, I will come. The young man, I don't know his name and it's not important. Also now, land of Eden of Africa. He was trying to bring colonialism into the scripture. My problem is that there are some innocent people. Do you know why I would do what I'm doing now till I die? I have not been as active as I am now in this for a very long time. But I have received calls from well-meaning individuals from all areas of life. Somebody wrote on my page one day, said, thank you so much. They almost caught me. And it was a young man. Thank you for making this very clear. A one woman also called me, a very matured and educated woman, called me and said, you said that education did this, education did that. What I actually said, it was not up to 2 minutes. And the woman is saying, yes, thank you so much.
As a pastor, I don't only bless my members spiritually, I also bless them financially. And that is because I'm involved in land banking with Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited.
You know, there is one thing about the mind. When you condition the mind to listen to something for some time, it becomes attuned to that. And a block or reasoning onya. Your fan. You can do undo to promote that what your fan is doing. Nande Mado, in the course of defending Mbaka, was fighting a bishop and the church. They even went to cathedral, Kahabido, maybe Sibe Cathedral, in an attempt to defend the priest. From Bakananya, so much Mana, in your defense now, you just fight about the entire church. Yes. Produce Rumbaka, Mbaka platform. When people become followers, they're not interested in asking questions. There are so many things they can do. What you asked is actually the problem of documentation. We are not documented. And as a result, everybody can come up and tell us anything. Among these people that are shouting, let's go back to our root, there are some that say that they don't believe in God and they are making cases for Satan. One of the reasons in the Bible were male for the hammer in the olden days, but because of Nahana Tuchukwegu, no bina that Bible description, now God is living in an unapproachable light. Ejuwe nwechazia intermediary, arosidishi deities in their ignorance. Ejekuru that bigger God, that Chukwu. Manonye buzi onye Igbo na-ache ga back to root. Sigine nwere ihe dịka Chukwu. And they see coming out publicly to make themselves atheists are the quickest way to stardom in our today's world. Ọ pụtara anya publicly say na ya bụ atheist, kwuo na ndị na-eje ụka na-eri eri, kwuo na fada na-eyi skirt, bute Bible gbaa ya ọkụ. Ọ bụrụ na a great man, onye nke a mee, onye nke efolo ya, onye nke eme, onye nke efolo. The same people na-ekwu na ha chọrọ ije tradition. O nwere somebody I was correcting, is one of the people I was assisting when I was in the bank, a young man. Afọ m na status ya ka ọ dere na one with God is majority. He replaced God with gun. I saw that as a great mental shift. Nsị ya na omenani ụnụ ahụkwu, ụnụ afọzi Chukwu as onye ji ike niile. Chukwu kpụrụ ite ka ite ọ kpụziri nọgharị ihu na-agwa ya ihe ọ ga-eji ya mee na ihe ọ na-agaghị eji ya mee. So the problem is still problem of lack of documentation. Nji wee sị na these things fall apart by Chinua Achebe kwesịrị ịbụ our Igbo Bible, and as long as I live, I'll be sharing this book till I die. And not just sharing it, I'll be organizing seminar, and people will be going home with gifts that they will not forget in honor of this book and what this man has written here.
Who do you think Chinua Achebe should be to ndị Igbo, and what is the legacy of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart? Go ahead, please.
In my opinion, people that are practicing our African traditional religion, one of the things they use against Christianity is that Christianity enweghị room for our ancestors, but that is not true. O nwere video mere gara viral somehow. M kwuru maka ndị ichie nọ n'enigwe yọbara ya ayọ. You hear some of the things that these our boys are saying now, that why is it that is only a white man that can become a saint? Kedu ihe o ji bụrụ na ndị Africa adịghị abụ saint? But that is not the truth of the matter. Christianity actually recognizes the fact that there are some ancestors from Igbo roots that are in heaven. There is a Bible quotation I usually like to read.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, that is Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. After this, I saw a great crowd, impossible to count, from every nation, race, people, and tongue, standing before the throne and the Lamb, clothed in white and palm branches in their hands. And they cried out with a loud voice, "Who saves but our God, who sits on the throne and the Lamb?" I saw a great crowd from every nation, including Igbo nation, race, people, and tongue, including Igbo language, standing before the throne of God. We have said that part of the problem of our religion and custom tradition is the fact that they are not properly documented. Christianity has space for our ancestors who lived a noble life even before the first white man stepped his feet in the land of Igbo. There is a place for such people. If you go to the Catechism of Catholic Church from number 631 to 637, you will see where the document talks about the fact that when Jesus Christ died, he descended to the grave, and in that grave, he went to preach gospel to Adam and his descendants, including Igbo people that never had opportunity. The blood of Jesus Christ had not been shed, and it's a spiritual ordinance that there will be no remission of sin without shedding of blood. So because Jesus had not come, these people, including Igbo people, were trapped there, and that is the teaching of the church. Even every year in Catholic Church, we celebrate All Saints on 1st of November. Kedu ya na celebrate in All Saints? Known and unknown saints. Ndị biri ezigbo ndụ. The truth of the matter is that we are still not organized as a people. Even till today, we still don't have documents. We don't document events, and you don't expect. The church has a standard, and she can never deviate from that standard. So anybody that is coming to tell you that they don't regard Igbo people and all that is just trying to convince the gullible. There is a space for our people who had lived a noble life. Christianity has a space for that. Now you asked about Chinua Achebe.
Yes.
These are worthy ancestors that should be remembered as far as this Igbo land exists. Go and look at that masterpiece that he wrote. While people are running helter-skelter, you know what these people that are pushing this ideology, their sponsors, not just them. The script they have written for these people is to trivialize some of the atrocities that our people committed in the past. And why am I referring to this Things Fall Apart by Chinua Chinua Achebe. That is where you will see what our history, tradition, and custom were all about. What our ancestors handed down to us at the point that Chinua Achebe was able to write and put this in that. As I said, there were colonial pieces that were in existence. A book like Mr. Johnson, written by a colonial master, talking about Igbo tradition. Such account could or may be based on stereotype. He will be biased in telling the story because he also has a narrative that he's pushing. You also read a book that Conrad wrote, The Heart of Darkness. These are the books that Chinua Achebe addressed with Things Fall Apart. And to tell you why this book should be canonized, this book has been translated in over 57 languages of the world. And as if that is not enough, reputable institutions, Harvard, Oxford, gave Chinua, while he was living, honorary award because of this piece that he wrote. So every Igbo family, as a matter of necessity, should pick this book, discuss it in their house. Let our people, let the young people that are running helter-skelter looking for solution, know what our history is all about, so that when you are saying that you're going back to Omenana and all that, you actually know what you're doing. I have read the book. I will continue to read it. I will continue to preach this book. I will continue to distribute it. As a matter of fact, these 2 copies were actually brought for your company. Yes, this is actually for you. This is how I will continue to distribute it. As I am sharing the Bible, I will also be sharing Things Fall Apart.
Wow.
Every Igbo man ought to read this book.
Thank you very much, boss.
You're welcome, sir.
I appreciate it.
Chinua Achebe's work is a masterpiece. I may not go into this book in details today. We may have another section for us to talk about Chinua Achebe. As I said, I will organize seminars. I will do, in fact, the challenge I'm doing next month, the one we just did this month, is about hacking nature. Somebody will win 100,000 from our page today.
Ndị be anyị, unu kpọrọ nya bụ oku, anyị azago. Ugbu a, ị ga-abụnwu onye ọbịa na gbam, n'agbanyeghị ebe ọbụla ị nọ n'ụwa. Ị chọrọ ka anyị gbaa gị ajụjụ ọnụ ma ọ bụ ị chọrọ ka ụwa nụ ọnụ gị? Dere anyị ozi ma ọ bụ kpọọ anyị n'akara ekwentị ndị a ị na-ahụ n'iru onyonyo gị. Daalụnụ.
I told a story, 2 life stories of what I experienced as a young man. People that hacked nature, that nature came back to fight. One was the story of a young man that beat our teacher while we were in secondary school. You know, usually when boys want to do some of these things that we do as young boys, there is usually this fear of who will be the person to do the first hit. And that young man was the first one that lifted his stool and hit that teacher back. And that vice principal fell on the ground that started beating him. Our education system is in a mess. If it was then, before you take a student from another school, there is what is called letter of transfer. You will find out what he did. If it's somebody that needs to be taken to a rehab center or somebody that needs a counselor, I don't even know if we will still have guidance and counselors in some of our schools.
In secondary schools?
Yes. If it's somebody that needs to be taken to a guide and to be spoken to be able to reformat that mind before he goes back to the soil. But that was not done. He went to the next school he was taking, he wrote WAEC with his mates. Result came out in flying colors. But after 2 months, a trailer just grinded that guy along the road, and that was his end. Another one was somebody that, from a noble family, a NEPA official came to cut light and he used dagger to stab the guy. Gbuo agbachori koka esi eme na omenala Igbo. Mee gara. The guy agaba obodo Igbo. 2 years later, amagbukwa ya n'obodo Igbo buru ya gbadata oboro ozu. So I told these stories on my page and said that if you have similar story to validate this fact, come up with that. At the end, we select the best and we'll give 100,000 to whoever has the best story. One of the criteria to win that was never to follow our page. We never mentioned it. I'm not looking for followers. Just tell us your story. If people say that is the best, at the end, we'll give you 100,000. People have something they can refer to. As this noise is going on the internet, let it be that there are some things that someone can actually see and understand how this life is programmed. There are invisible police everywhere in the world. And whenever you cross red line, whether anybody is seeing you or not is immaterial. That invisible police must come after you. So this is what we did this month. And as I say, somebody is taking 100,000 this month. And next month, we are doing okay. Chinua Achebe is not this September. We'll be doing Chinua maybe in October. What we'll be doing this next month is people that brought Christianity to Igbo land. I have tried to make research about the people that brought Christianity in Igbo land. Go through almost all communities in Igbo land. Those people that brought Christianity, gave them their houses, gave them their land. Go to our communities. They are the heads of such communities. Okeke Omeko Digo of Aguleri that brought Christianity to Aguleri. As a result, he was ostracized by his people. They sent him out of the community. But today they are the royal family of Aguleri. You go to Okija, our own Okija, Obi Jackson, even the current Igwe that is there, they have root. Their parents are among the people that brought Christianity in Igbo land. Go to Adazi, our GUO. The forefather was the one that brought Christianity in Adazi. And the story continues like this. So this is what we'll be doing this month that you are entering. Go back and ask questions. The people that brought Christianity to your community. How far have they gone? You can also, don't tell us about this one, but you can also look around and show those people that if they sleep and wake up, the next day shrine will be cooling off with a very young man. Go back to such societies and see what you see. So Chinua Achebe's work, Things Fall Apart, is indeed, in my opinion, our own Igbo Bible.
This movement of going back to our root.
Okay, before we go back to Igbo root proper, let me respond to that. Ego. Ada ekpete ego na ekpere, ada agwọta ego n'ọgwụ. Ndị Igbo believe na na-enwebe spiritual gallops. Christianity also believes in that. Na ọ bụrụ na lineage isi na-enwego some things emechara na-adịghị mma, na ihe a nwere ike chere gị aka mgba ma ị na-apụ. Ndị Igbo ji agwọ ọgwụ akali ogiri. Akali ogiri abụ mmụọ ndị na-efegharịcha n'ikuku a na-esetụ ha ọfụma ma ọ bụ akụnitechara in one way or the other. Onye Igbo believe na nwa ya chọọ ịpụ na a ga-agwọwuri ya wele ka ụzọ ya gaa aga. Ka ọ na-enwe n'ihe n'ọsọ nwa ya na-atapụ akpa ya na-ewere ihe ọ chọrọ. Christianity also believes that by strength shall no man prevail. Enwere God that governs the whole universe. So while spirituality, whether ma ọ bụ Christianity ma ọ bụ traditional religion, na-adịghị enye ego, but it's a necessary part of it. There is spirituality to wealth. O nwere mbọ ya abịa ịgbacha mekrasịcha ihe niile ịchọ. In fact, natural disaster can even come and scatter the whole thing. And all some of the reasons ndị be ji commit suicide in the olden days. Just got things fall apart. Na ọkọrọ ji mmiri ezo ori na-ebukọrọsịa ji ya despair ojekwa ụdọ. Ihe ha na-ekwu ekpere just storytelling, twisting story to deceive the gullible minds. Ekpere dị mkpa, mana ekpere does not promote idleness. Idleness is a mortal sin. So ngị nwa na-abụ ije n'ụtụtụ ije nọrọ n'ụlọ ụka na-ekpe ekpere ka Chukwu nye gị ego, you are living in sin. It's not just what a priest is talking or what a pastor is talking. What is Christianity talking? Christianity has a template that you can have access to from wherever you are. There is a template. You can actually make reference. You can actually consult and know what he's saying in every particular issue. So it's not something you just come up and start doing the way you like in the name of you are doing Christianity. St. Paul said that in his letter to Galatians, anybody that will preach a different gospel from this is cursed. So you don't come and twist the Christian message for you to win people or win followers online. Whether you're a traditionalist or you're a Christian, that is not the truth of the matter. And secondly, na chuaja, because one of the things na agakwa viral get up ndị youth na-ekwu bụ na ana anaghị ego n'ụlọ ụka. Of course, chuaja is part and parcel of life. You don't deceive people you don't coerce people to give. People give out of their will. Kedu ihe ndị be anyị ji enye arụsị mmadụ n'oge gboo? Aja ka a na-achụ. What was more costly than human being in life? But the truth of the matter is that kedu the mindset, kedu the understanding. What is your understanding of what you do? Having said this, you asked me a question. Kedu root to here? When they talk about this root, do I say that these are just some of them are confused? In ekwu okwu ordinana, mani de ekwu okwu nsana. Somebody may come up tomorrow and said, "Now that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about But if you cannot stand as a voice and condemn something that people are doing in the name of tradition, you are doing it. What they tell us as our root is actually not what our root is all about. Some occultic men hijacked the tradition and introduced things that were anti-natural in the tradition. You see that this is working. You now want to create a fake version of what is working. And that is what some of these boys are celebrating without knowing. Our root to be na root to na asaru. Maniga for mmadụ na-ekpuchi. Somebody is saying that na ndị ọcha bịara mee slave trade and all that. Mana onye na-ekwu na ndị ọcha mee slave trade nwere brothel where he's exploiting young girls. The one that the white people did and the one that is doing, which one is more destructive? And in the 21st century. So what they actually call our root is not our root. After talking about spirituality, you know, I talked about Igbo boy. Igbo land na photo ode was built on that tradition generation of Igbo boy, but it's dying now. And onye ọbụla na-ekwu okwu our root, these are the things you should be talking about. That Igbo man is enterprising by nature, but nobody talks about it again, and it's dying. After the Civil War, government nyere onye Igbo 20 pounds, but they did not die. Tenacity. They continued working. Look at Igbo land, look at Onitsha, look at all these houses that are sprang up. It was built on that Igbo boy system. And this is the root that we should do everything within our power to protect. Mana we see onwere my friend nọ na ọgbọgwụ na akọrọma ebe a bụ ebe my branch dị. Nwa boy mmadụ kpọtara nọ na be ya je gwa awele onye na-agbara mmadụ boy. Gwọkwa nke ọ gwọrọ ka ọ gị ya na adị na afọ ihe ọ na-eme. You see on the social media ụmụ boy na-eji agwọta poison ka ha gbuo ọga ha maka na ọ chọrọ inwe ego nke tata nke echi. And that coach ụmụazị ekwe ọkụzi agba boy ọbịa tata onye ọzọ agwa ya somewhere na a na-agwọ oke ite na ihe ọ na-waste time nọrọ under somebody ga-abụ after 5 years or something. Or just onye ya 2 million naira. He can actually get 5 million naira within a year before he closed 18. I was thinking na onye chọrọ ikwu okwu roots. Now these are the first things you should be talking about. These are the things to discuss. You see na this Igbo boy system na nwoketa and then ndị na-ekwukwa okwu Igbo boy ya bụ the same Christianity na-preach ya n'ụlọ ụka. Mana ndị omenani onye ọbụla chọrọ ịbụ dike, onye ọbụla chọrọ ịkpata ego without process.
I want to make healthy living a culture in our society. Teta n'ụtụtụ mee exercise gị sweat, that sweat is very important. Ịba na garden gị bele akwụkwọ nri sie nri, very natural food. Or if your body need, just nri ọbụla dị etu Chukwu si kee.
Ese na ọ bụrụ ihe ị na-preach, why are you not advising these young men? Kedu ndị na-agwọrọ ha that ọgwụ ọ nọ na be ya ọgị ya na-agwọ mgbe ọ bịara na be gị ka ị gwọrọ ya ọgwụ a asị onye na-eme omenala bụ dibịa ọ gwara gị ihe o ji eme? Kedu ihe ọ chọrọ iji eme? You did not ask all these questions. Yes. One of the things eji mara onye Igbo bụ ngwọ nkwụ ọcha. Ọnwụọna is dead. Ije n'ahịa kịta gote ihe ị ga-ego bụ chemical. Thanks to ndị ọgbọ na ị nwere ike ije n'ọgbọ with your connection na onye ịma. You may get original. Just sip original of that drink. You see life, you see happiness. There is this fulfillment that is built in nature. God's power and mysteries are built in his principles and in the nature. I saw a young man copying what one author was saying. I don't want to say the author that said that. He came to this your platform and was using it negatively. He was saying that no man can survive outside his environment. He's correct. As you see that miracle on mana environment ya bụrụ environment arụ. Ọ bụrụ environment impunity. The last time I sipped what I bought. There is the fulfillment I had. Na ihe a bụ original. Mana our people has bastardized it. Ndị na-ekwu okwu omenala bụ ihe aka ha ị ga na tin fall apart. Ijebe onye Igbo onye chaga ọjị. Ọ ba anụ the next thing oge butere go bongo. Ọ dịrọzi and nobody is doing anything about it. Ụtaba anyị na-akpọ ndị na-agwa anyị gwara anyị si anyị na ụtaba adịrọ mma. Nyezi anyị mkpụrụ mmiri onye ṅụọ pụọ ara. Mana na be anyị nwere ụtaba ya bụkwa onye kpọcha ka ndị bụ si akpọ ya. Ọ dịkwa ka nwoke otu ahụ ọ chọrọ isi dị. Ọma mme ya to go beyond the line. Ọtaba is dying. Gịnị na-eme ọtaba anyị? Kedu na osisi ebe a kụrụ ọtaba? Eche m na onye chọrọ ikwu okwu omenala bụ ebe ahụ ka ọ ga-ebido kwuba okwu. The truth is that there is no document, no template. Everybody is just making noise. Ị na-eblame onye ọcha na o mere gị nke a na o mere gị nke ọzọ. He did this, he did that. Ndị be anyị nwere mgbọrọgwụ eji agwọ ya mgbe gboo. Mana all of them are lost. Ndị nke fọrọ afọ bụ just a little because na-enwero proper documentation. Onye Igbo dị selfish in that regard. Onye ọcha furu nke ya discover pharmaceutical products, develop ya as a science, tinye ya na university and agụ ya from generation to generation, burukwa ya bute Africa. We are doing it here. Everybody is benefiting from it. Ndị na-ekwu okwu omenani, it does not call for disrespect. Onye ọcha ị na-akpọrị na o mere gị nke a na o mere gị nke a. I'm not even talking about early missionaries now. I'm talking about ndị ọcha in general. Yet you are doing everything to get visa to run to their land. Ndị Igbo si na Igwe bụ ike. Igwe ọka bụkwa n'ike tata na ana Igbo. Destroy shana no our traditional institutions. Ụmụnna bụ ike na ụmụnna kwuo okwe otu a. Who are you to go against what you ụmụnna kwuru? Makwa na one of the reasons ndị mmadụ ji bụrụ osu na ohu mgbe gboo na eze kwuru okwu okwugharịa, including n'obodo si na-aga na-egbu ụmụ ejima. Onye dịtụ bright, onye summon courage ikwuo ya emega osu of one deity. Igwe things fall apart. Efu otu agbara nwaanyị na-enekwa nwa arụsị ga-esi bịawuo na be mmadụ na abalị ga-ekuru nwa na-alahụ ụla pụa. You can't stop the person maka no anyị zuru kwe ihe ụmụnna kwuru. Mana go to the villages now. Onye na ndị mmadụ na-abịakwa that meeting ụmụnna because na some people achụsịsịa na ndị mmadụ na village ha hijack the institution and because na hijack kwuo na-ewerekwa ya na-agbaba ụmụnna kwuchegodo okwu bụrụ justice ofu onye kunesi na ya ekwe ha jewala onwe ya merewe ihe sọrọ ya.
Nothing will happen to him.
These are the things we should be talking about. Ọ bụrụ just ile accusation against government this that. O nwere ndị government na-adịghị emeta. But government is a pillar of the society. The same way families are pillars of society. And family belongs to traditions and customs. So our traditional institution has a whole lot to do. Ndị Igbo na-eme onye agha na nwanne ya. Eziokwu. Gaa n'ọpụ iwe ka na were okwu gaa n'abalị ka mmadụ chọọ ịnara gị this your wristwatch. Ị ga-afụ 1000 hefty young men onye ọbụla na-agara onwe ya gbagara ndị nkịtị. And ndị ji gị abụrụ na ha dị armed. Asị na ha ga-agba gị egbe. Mana onwere onye ga-atụpụrụ gị na ha zụcha gị ori mechaghị ihe ha chọrọ ime. They leave you than they go their way. Maka na ndụ onye a chọrọ ịdị ndụ. Yet you are blaming ndị ọcha bịara ebe a izite ozi ọma after 2 weeks. Anwụnta atagbuo mmadụ 4. See from noble family. They went back and sent more people to come and preach and bring us out of ignorance. Mana ihe na-atụ gị ụjọ n'ọpụ iwe ka bụ maka onye agha ịnọkọta tụgharịa ma agụ ụra na ihe a na-eme agbasahụ gị. Ị gafere. Onye na-ekwu okwu going back to the root bụ ihe ndị a ka ọ ga na-ekwu. You see what is happening when we go for election. Ndị mmadụ anara 1,000, 2,000 were obodo ya for the next 4 years. Onye Igbo bụ onye Igbo ama mmenata ya eme. That is our culture. Onye Igbo na-ebu ọnụ junni. He is hungry but the food is polluted. I cannot eat it. Ọ ihe ndị a ka nche na anyị ga-agbakọta ọnụ. Efu ebe m bụ ya n'isi o, I will carry it on my head. Otu ọbụla isi chọọ ka ekwuo ya, I am ready for it. Mana ọ bụrụ ebe ịkọrọ m what you don't even understand about. Just seek for the truth. Ịmata eziokwu omega pụta n'oru. There are so many things that are going on in the name of tradition that are not actually our tradition. Ndị Igbo na-eme ihe a na-akpọ sharecropping. Onye Igbo chọọ ịbụrụ great man, ya nwa ogbenye gbado anya ka ọ dị n'ala Igbo na mgbe gboo iwu bụ na ọ ga-abụ ọgaranya. Maka na ihe o kwenyere na ya bụ ihe a na-ekwu. I experienced it. My mother was a very poor widow. Okay. We were very poor, lived in mud house. We were the lowest part of the society. My mother na-arụ ọrụ a na-akpọ arụta eke. O nwere anị ebe ọ ya aka akpụ. O nwekwuru akpụ ọ ga-akọ. Mana gị nwa nwere anị. And ị ga-egotawa okporo akpụ. Inye ya your land. Ọ rụọ dị akpụ. Ọ rụcha ya na-eke ya 2. O were 1 gị nwa bụ odi o na-ewere. The same way ndị bụ DJ because the richest man in Igbo land in the olden days are all ndị na-akọ ji. Onye na-enweghị ji ọ bịakwute gị nwa bụ DJ. Ichinye ya ji oje kọọ. Ọ kọcha ji ikere nke gị okere nke ya. Mgbe ọ na-eme ya 10 years, it doesn't need you again.
Ọkwụlụ.
These traditions are dying. Ndị bịara nọ nche nọ ihe a ka ha ga-ebido kwube ada ekwu maka ya. So ihe bụ ihe ha chọrọ ikwu bụ na ụka mere nka ụka eme nka because all story get sell easily. Sacred things. Ọ bụrụ ha na ihe ndị mmadụ na-atụ ụjọ ikwu na ị ga-ekwu ya whether maọbụ eziokwu maọbụ asọ ihe na-ere in our world today. Negodu kedu ihe a na-akpọ ya road workers. Let me not use the other word. Road workers a omenala ndị Igbo. Ọ bụrụ omenala ndị Igbo kedu ka okorobịa ga-esi pụta kwuru n'ilo and ọ ya akpọcha ihe ike to be able to stand on the road na control traffic na anara ndị mmadụ ego a na-abụ ya ọnụ n'elu ya. I have not seen ndị a na-ekwu okwu ka anyị gachi ha to roots organizing seminar telling these people that this is not what an Igbo man ought to be doing in a very young age and not just saying it. You develop an app and hand it over to the government to replace that job and these people will do. These people will go back to the society. Mmadụ one lose go their life. Those road workers. Mmadụ one ka moto gbugoro ebe moto gburu ha ndị mmadụ a na-ekene Chukwu na moto gburu mmadụ ibefa because of the nature of work they do. Ndị omenala anyị fụrụ nwanne anyị n'anya nọ onwe ihe pụta n'obodo niile ekuni ọta eje n'ụbịa ya bụ a problem anyị needed to solve. None of them is talking about it. Ihe bụ debe omenala bụ ịpụta ha na kparịa Christianity in the recent time because na ha achọghị ịdị logical ha ebido dị na ịba na ya egbugho ụmụ ejima. How can I listen to you when you talk like that? Nkwọpịa Chinua Achebe things fall apart. Ihe a kwesịrị ka a canonize ya si Igbo Bible. Chinua Achebe sị na ihe ndị mmadụ ji wee soro Christianity abroad because of their mad logic of Trinity. Kama na enwere ụmụ ejima nọ n'ime ọfịa na-ebe akwa Ikemefuna ewere mma mapuo onu in a broad daylight. Onwere any form of na-agbara ya ọgwụ ka ọ na-efeel na pain. Nọ na nwa mmadụ gakọtara n'ụzọ egbuchapụ ya. Kedu ihe o mere? Arụ Ikemefuna mere na things fall apart. Bụkwa na ego dara n'obodo. Dachi everywhere for ebe a na-azụdo. Ndị obodo ewee gbakọ. Ikemefuna bụ nwa eji wee kwụọ ụgwọ ọshụ. Okonkwo has made Ikemefuna as a member of his family. Mana obodo ekwuo na Okonkwo bụ dike ọ na-anụ warrior. Ihe obodo kwuru eme. Even though one elder came to him before that time said, this boy calls you father, your hand should not be in his death. Mana Ikemefuna akpọrọ ya na-aga bunye ya ọkpa nọkọta elu ebe eruru egburu mma tụkwasị ya n'isi. Nke ahụ egbuchaghị ọjọọ ka ọ gbakwuru Okonkwo enye aka pịata isi adapụna.
You as a person now, can you guys know about your vision and mission in life generally and what you're doing?
My vision as a person is to actually make my contribution as a man. All the very obvious now. I will not be here in the next 60 years, but my son will remain here. I have to leave a good name for him, and that is one of the greatest assets he will use tomorrow. I want my son to come out tomorrow and say that I am proud of this man to be my father. Yes. Irrespective of what he chooses to do tomorrow, he may still decide to, which I don't pray he does, but that is the truth of life. I want to do something that will not be outdated with time. Truth is never outdated. If you say the truth, philosophers naturally, we are lovers of truth. If you say the truth, come next 20 years, truth will remain the truth. The truth remains that God exists against some of the things that they are telling us today. Igbo man believes that God exists. Any reasonable man, even the atheists, also believe, because that thing is saying that it does not exist is a confirmation that you know that there is something like that. There is this conflict that is going on, and some of the things that have caused the conflict is bad government and leaders. Some of the things that government ought to have done are not done. Onye choba ebo ga-ebido aka, a safe landing. Onye ọbụla na land ebe na Christianity. Ihe ji wee gbuo good number of Christians during the time of Adolf Hitler bụ na o nwere ndị Jew bụ na o nwere influenza pụtara gbube ndị mmadụ. Asị nọ ndị Jew nọ mmiri ha na-aṅụ or something. There is a way they painted that story. People are always looking for an opportunity to persecute the truth. I'm not talking of a righteous person now, but the truth, because it stands as a sharp opposition against what they are doing. No matter how you want to bury your conscience, once somebody says it, about autopilot. Autopilot is designed for a mission. No matter how you manipulate it, once you leave it, it goes back to that. God, in his infinite wisdom, planted his word in our conscience. In as much as you are alive and your emotions are working, no matter how you want to intoxicate yourself to forget about him, once somebody talks about him, your conscience responds to that call. That is why you see this war that is going on. And some of the boys that are doing this are not even aware that they are acting on a prepared script. There is a script that it has always been there. War between darkness and light is as old as man. In different generations, come in different, they disguise it. Now it's Christianity. And now generation of Christianity. Okay. Because now, the statistics is there. No other institution in the world has mounted opposition against evil in the world as Christianity. Since the existence of the world, since Christianity emerged, no institution of this world had done 30% of what Christianity had done against evil. That we have governance or this civil society, it was Christian. People died for it. People were convinced that this is the way to go. So addressing these lies is one of the things I came out for. Then, as I said, for me to make contribution, I have to work. And no, somebody does not supposed to be controlling that work. I have to take risk and build new businesses. Build a name that my son and whosoever that I will leave behind tomorrow will come and say, yes, this is actually my father. Igbo man, we respect elders, but we respect achievement more than elders. That is why in our tradition, ndị na-achị obodo bụ also titled men. And also titled men are just akari ogiri. Not that also titled. Oh, he melogame. Bụrụ onye ọzọ. Ọ bụrụkwa nke a na-abụ onye zusie ndị mmadụ ori tata ọ pụta eje n'obodo chibi ọzọ. You see, collapsing our institutions. So, since Igbo orientation has taught that if you work, that is what the Bible is saying. If you work, there will be payment. I want to work. I am a young man. If I remain where I was, I will get to a stage that I can't even come out again. I will become a failure. The intellect, the opportunity, the exposures that God has given to me, he gave it to me for a purpose. And I can't leave it because science is telling me that I I'm supposed to rest. Yes, I rest, but this 24 hours is not even enough if you really want to work and make impact. But you cannot add a minute to that. So the 24 hours that you have, you manage it properly. I want to be in control of this greatest assets I have as a man, time. That is why I left where I was. I want to control my time. And I want to put my voice in this life that is ravaging the society. And people are doing all kinds of atrocities in the name of Christianity. There was a video that trended, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. A woman was in the church praying for his son to go for armed robbery and succeed. Because when the pastor that was praying for them said, Osia, yes, Osia obonye nche, Osia mba no ori, o confirm no na ezu ori. Osia ego ndị ezute okwa nwere ndị dị na your account. Yes, okwa nwere ndị iji wee gbata. Osia, you see where it has gotten to. That a woman will walk up to the market, go tere nwa ya laptop, ka o wee je mebe Yahoo. Atụgharịa the language. No ega in the ọcha zuru ka anyị na-achọka in the name of going back to roots. And now onye Igbo gwara gị na ihe ọjọọ niile dị n'ụwa na ochi ka njọ, agụkwuo ya n'egwu aya na-agbara. Mana ị ga na-agbara egwu ahụ na-achọ onye ga-ezu ori. Na ochi na-arụ mmadụ ọ na-eme afọ echie. You are living in Oka. I don't know how familiar you are with your local environment, Aba. Go there and see what the boys are doing. They don't want to go to work. They celebrate idleness. Only Igbo they celebrate idleness.
Nah, bye-bye.
I'm not talking of just Aba.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't know how familiar you are with villages. If you go to the village setting, Aba is not because I'm also from Okida. Go to your remote villages, not city life now. You see what people are doing. So I am out to make my contribution and to control my time as an Igbo man.
Inwere akọpụlụ iche ịchọkụ ụwa nọ. Inwe ife dị n'obi ịchọ ikwu gbam. Inwere ife dị omimi ịchọkụ onye ọbụla malụ. Onwere akala aka izole ezo ịchọkụ ụwa fo na inwe passion for. Bịa na gbam ka ụwa n'onu yi. Inwere business ịchọ ikwunye n'ọkụ. Onwe product ịchọ gosoro na gbam. Ịchọ ka ife ị na-ele, ife ị na-eme na-aga as viral as gbam. We are here for you. Contact the number on your screen. Ka ikwunye n'ọkụ ka ife na ọ na-eme. Adamuaka, Gbam is the biggest Igbo interview in the world. Come and find out for yourself.